thanks for watching. I'm gonna do a first impressions really on this Kaweco Sport Pin Classic. I ordered this last night at 11:20 and got a text message at 8 telling me that I received it in my mailbox. So I just really wanted to do an impressions video of what I think on it. I got the one in red and gold, and I wanted to compare it with some other fountain pins I have. I even have a knockoff version of Kaweco I've had for a few years now, and I want to compare it with that as well. So my next angle will be a better view of this because the sun is all in my face right now.
Okay, apologies in advance for any lighting issues. My light bulb is they are directly above me. Alright, here is a close-up of this pin. I'm going to compare it to a few other pins on paper and see what I think I like about it. So I got the red one. It looks kind of coral actually, but I really like coral. So somebody actually had this shirt. I was like, man, I like your shirt. It's like a coral kind of shirt. And he's like, I think it's like magenta. But it was this color, so you tell me, is this magenta? Anyway, it's red and gold. Just right out of the box. Oh, it does have some literature in here as well. So let's see what this says. Oh, there's a couple of things in here. Okay, so oops. Of course I get messages whenever I'm doing something. So it does come with a sticker. I like this. I'll find a place to put this, maybe in a wallet, sketchbook or something. Alright, this literature talks about the history in different languages. No, history throughout the years in different languages, English and German. So that's kind of cool. 1983 started, two peoples, and wow, the sport started in 1911 it looks like. The logo started in 1929, and there we go. And the back is just the warranty and different information as well, and in different languages. Cool, free stuff. So, I mean, right off the bat, it looks nice put together at least. There's like little particles from like, whoops. So yeah, look at that. Yeah, it has like little bits of paper on it from, I guess, the plastic, but it looks really nice from that Kaweco. I actually couldn't see that from, I don't have my glasses on, but I couldn't see it. I can actually see it through the phone camera. Okay. This is a gold-plated nib. I believe it's 23 karat, and it might say it really close. I do see where it says Germany on the left side. Let's see if I can get closer. There we go. And then since, yeah, the year that we saw it, can't really see that close, but there we go. So it looks pretty. Up close we can see the nib. It's kind of favoring one side the way it's machined, it looks like, but I'm a lefty, so the fact that the ball end looks more on the right side as I write, it might be smoother for me. We'll see. Might not. Could just be the design of it though, of all of them. So there's a logo behind it too. This comes apart. People have talked about squeaking. This squeaking, that's just plastic on plastic. I think that could be remedied by just putting like some kind of oil on it. But I feel like just skin oil could do it. Maybe like, I'm trying to see where. But either way, no big deal. So it does come with a cartridge. It looks like blue, small. It looks like normal size standard cartridge though. I wanted to see if the smallest converter I have would fit in the body, but it looks like it would be too tight a fit. I don't know, it might fit, but I wonder if it will connect. So it looks like it's not that deep of a connection. Maybe if I just... yeah. So I'll have to get a converter specifically for it. They do sell it close by, but I'm debating on just... no, I'll probably get it either way. I'm gonna use this ink up first, just to see how this ink is anyway. Okay, so that's already going away. Look at that. Okay, no big deal. Yeah, just put some oil on it. It could be vegetable oil or oil from your skin if you're an oily person. I am. It's hot here, by the way. I have 2 fans on, so if you hear this whirring sound, it's because my fans are on high. Okay. So with the cap on, this is how it looks. I really like this pen. I like the way it looks, at least. It fits really well. I'm left-handed, so I do have a strange grip as well. So specific triangle pins I like, but because this is so narrow and circular, I have a good grip on it, and it's not fatiguing or feels a lot of pressure because it's so round. It actually curves in, so that allows me to press in and have good comfort. So that's different. Okay, I do have a couple other pins I can compare this to. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna write on this kind of paper. This is just normal Tama River loose sheets, A5, cream color, Japanese paper. That's the weight of it. So very, very thin. But I have other paper as well I can compare it to, because I want to see how it is water soluble, the ink that it comes in. So, but I just wanted to place, I'll just place this. It's just a comparison of the paper, the size of the pen, because that was pretty close up. So if we put this next to a Platinum Preppy with the cap off, it actually is bigger than the Preppy. But with the nib on, the Preppy is normal size, which is pretty big. This is the Pilot Petite. We'll compare them with the caps and then without. It appears to be about the same size as the Sport. And then we have, this is a knockoff. I've had this for years. I don't even know where. I use this for work now. So capped, when I compare this, it's still pretty large. And the type of demonstrator pen, it's no brand, but the nib on it has been, I've seen this nib, it's Wings nib, and I've seen that on Amazon on different pens. They're also not main brand, but this is a very extra fine point. And I have some old school Parker permanent blue black ink, and I really like the way that ink is. It's really good because it self-cleans. It has a solvent in it, so that solvent just keeps the nib from drying out, which I have a problem with this pen a lot. But like I said, I'm just comparing the size of these pens. I'm gonna back up a little bit so I can get these in some kind of view, full view, as much as I can. Well, I'll have to move out a little bit more because I'm about to put some larger pins into place really quick. These are the Rot Ring art pen. Doesn't really go capped because it's like a desk pin, so I'm just gonna place this like this, still larger than all the rest, uncapped. Whoops. And then I have a Lamy Joy, also desk pin, so shouldn't be cap. Oh well, cap fits. I haven't really put the cap on, so we'll just do it with the cap. That would, with the cap, it would be the largest one I have. So these are the size of the pins. So compared to all my fountain pens, it is still the second to the smallest, next to the petite. Uncapped. They all change in size. I've had a lot of caffeine, so my hands are shaky. That's why my hands are shaking. Okay. I'm just gonna rearrange these in size comparison, for size comparison. Whoop. So this is about right. Give or take. So uncapped compared to the petite. Oh no, hold on. Yeah, compared to the petite, it still looks super sleek. I love how vivid the color is, even compared to the red preppy, which I really like that pen as well. But I'm glad that I have this red one because I wanted to put black ink in the preppy, but I don't mind having the preppy or having a fountain pen with red ink in it, so I can keep that like how it is, and I can buy refills for that pretty cheap anyway. Pretty easy to find where I'm from too, where I live, I mean. Okay. So I'm gonna compare them on a piece of paper. And we'll see how they work out. But whenever I look at the nibs of these, I notice that some people like reviewing nibs. I like nibs, so. But they're kind of really small. But look how pretty that gold nib is. Okay, if I compare that to these other gold nibs, now I have an iridium point. I think these are both iridium points. This one is an 18 karat gold plated, and this is 23 karat gold plated, and this is just gold plated, I think. It's really messy, but I use it pretty regularly. It goes everywhere. But these are how the nibs look, and the sizes, normal size compared to the smaller size nib. Okay. All right. When we compare this nib to the rot ring, they're pretty similar. So these drawing style pins are kind of like made to they kind of all seem to have these thin nibs. I don't know, or maybe it's just, I don't know, the ones that I fancy maybe. But I mean, these are all different styles. Like I've had this pin for a long time now, maybe, oh my gosh, years and years. This one's really old, but I haven't had this forever. But the nib is new. I mean, so that nib compared to like the Lamy nib, comparison is pretty close. So this is a good pin when you compare it to like these other pins. I'd say they're kind of similar in nib size, so you're gonna get the same kind of style you would with these pins at least. One that I really like, that's probably my finest nib I have, is this random ass pen here, but the nib is a little larger, but the point is pretty thin. And the Kaweco is an extra fine, the one that I have at least. So the nibs kind of look, these two nibs look pretty similar in how they're designed at the tip. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And this is my favorite nib, so I'm hoping I can have a new everyday carry favorite. This was one that I like. I switch my pins a lot. Like every week I switch my pins out in my pocket, but this one has had its fair share. It's starting to get cracks all on the threads and stuff. And even though they don't affect it now, it's just I can't find this pin anywhere, so It's only a matter of time. And the Preppy's okay, but to be honest, it just doesn't always work. I always have to like shake it a lot. Sometimes it's every few seconds, depending on the environment too. I notice humidity helps it out for some reason. So, but this nib. All right, I'll stop comparing nibs because I'm taking too long. But these are about the same size. And the Preppy would count that their nib to be a 0.3 on this one. So I would say that this one should be pretty similar. Alright, now the pins that I'm going to compare it to will be, I'm going to just compare a normal paper. So I'm going to compare this one just because they look the same. And we'll do a normal nib as well. Okay, so I'll compare those. I'll compare this thin nib too. I don't want to take too long, I already am, but I always say that and I always do. So, okay. So these are the ones that I'll compare just because the nibs are kind of similar, and then this one's not. I'll leave some of these out. Okay, this did come with a gold clip, by the way, but this isn't the main brand. I've scraped this up. It was like in a basket when I moved here, and I keep dragging the basket, so it's all scraped up. But for aesthetic purposes, if it fits, I might put it on here, but it looks like it's pretty big, so maybe not, but I'm afraid to scratch this. This is so new, but it looks like it would be nice, so I'm debating on it. I took it out, but we'll see. Okay. I've used this to write a couple of letters, and that was it. This paper is super thin. You can see right through it. So, yeah, super thin. So we'll see how it looks if it bleeds through. And then I have some, and then I'll see how water soluble the ink is. Okay. But from the start, I'm just gonna draw some lines on here if I can get this to work. This is a strange paper actually. I'm using newsprint to see if I can get this going. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom up really close, the camera up close if I can. All right. I use this for work a lot, so I'm gonna be surprised if it has like stuff in here. I use it to write on water soluble paper for dating stuff that needs to be washed later. So I like this because I normally use Sharpies, but the Sharpie nibs wear out. This doesn't. So I'm just gonna write gold pen. I've done that in the others. So you can tell, right? It's really wet. If you can see, like, yeah, there we go. See some shine in there. So that's something that I can't really have too much, or it's not that I can't have too much of it, it's I gotta be aware of it because I'm a lefty. If I get too excited, I write fast sometimes. That can really mess things up for me. And then this is the demonstrator. I just filled this up actually, so I should have tested it, but it's all good. I haven't tested that one either. But so you can see, I love how thin this line is, and this ink is blue, so it looks really cool when run a brush through it when I use this to sketch. which is why I'll be using these pins for. I have a lot of water soluble ones, but I think on this red one I'll actually put some permanent ink in it. Okay, this is a larger nib, so I just want to compare this nib, and this is a Jinhao. So I'm just gonna write Jinhao, and like look at that, how thick that is. It's crazy, but it's pretty cool. And then here's this little pen. And okay, so I had to run it underwater to really get this going, and so that kind of told me a couple of things. I got one that a lot of people talk about, one that squeaks, but obviously I kind of remedied that just by putting some oil on it for my skin. Look at that. So that fixed that. And then yes, this has machine oil running through it, so it's gonna clean that out. So I tried cleaning it from here, but I realized it was just inconsistent, so I just ran it underwater and cleaned out all of that too. So it should work a little bit better, but that does tell me that the ink quality is probably not that great since it's not smooth, free flowing out too quickly or so easily. So I'll replace it regardless of how it is after this. But okay, so writing on here, it's super thin. So I really like that. I still have water in my ink, I guess, so it's pretty thin when I compare it to the thinnest pen that I have, which is this demonstrator pen here, which I'll just write wings nib. I don't mind the blue ink, only because I have tons of black ink and I've been waiting. Even this is supposed to be permanent blue black, because it does look blue on thicker nibs, but running underwater too. You can see it. But I just felt like using a blue pen since I have a red pen here, and I like red. I can have two red pens instead of one that's blue. Okay. It feels really good. It feels like a ballpoint pen, which I don't mind, especially for an everyday. As an everyday carry, when I'm taking this out, people are gonna notice. They always notice fountain pen. They want something to say, so you're feeling them watch you, waiting for something. It's like the last thing you want is to like focus on what you're doing. Just want to write when I'm out, and this can allow me to do that. Now I'm a lefty, so I notice that as I'm writing into this, I can see paper particle maybe, or is it ink? I'm not really sure. But in other words, there's pressure being in different spots. I can wear this nib down over time, and if it's gold plated, it should wear down a little bit to my style. But it looks like it's just maybe the ink because it's drying to the same uniform texture maybe. I don't know. And I'm just scribbling. Honestly, I just kind of have a headache. This paper, there's really no bleed through. It's the thing is paper. So, oops, sorry. So that is this pen here, Kaweco Sport. I think it's classic. It looks really nice. Feels really good. Feels smooth. There's a scratch here, but even that scratch is more like an aesthetic sound. That's kind of what I get with the I'm trying to remember what it is. Let's try it out. Look at that. Even the Lamy skipped. Ooh, this is smooth. This is like, oh my gosh, it's like a paintbrush. I like that. It kind of feels like this Preppy. Used a lot lately, so I've broken this nib in a good amount. I've had to run a lot of water through it too. I mean a good amount, like there's like oil like on the inside. Like people will clean the nibs, and I've tried that, but if you still get scratchy stuff, just take it apart and clean this out with water, dry it out, clean it again, and it should run smooth. But man, this Preppies and the like Zebra fountain, those things skip so much that you have to like take them apart and really clean them up. It's like, I wish they would just say that, like, sorry, our shit's cheap, but just clean it up. Yeah, I've had this Petite for over a year now, maybe 2 years, and it writes really well. But I would have to say this just, it feels like a ballpoint pen, and I like that because I can kind of control my pressure. It's not wet like the other ones, so it feels like the Petite. It feels like the Preppy. So I'm happy about that. I'm thinking I'm gonna put some carbon ink in this guy after I use up all the blue ink. But I'm pretty sure I'll be keeping this in my pocket every day. So I can't wait to do a follow-up on this and see what I think. Now, if I compare this to the other pens and see how soluble it is in water, we'll see how this blue ink checks out. That extra fine nib doesn't give it much play, but I write really small in like my books and stuff. See if I have like any writing that I've done just nearby. I guess I have like, I wrote something down in this paper. So I generally write really small, and this is a perfect pen for me, I think, like I said, for that reason, for carrying it every day. And blue ink is generally acceptable everywhere anyway, so it'd be good for me to use this. I've also noticed that they sell these nibs separately, so if I ever decide I want to do calligraphy, which I don't, but if I ever decide I want a wider nib, if they had a bent nib, maybe I would. In this color, they do have some, but I might buy this. Otherwise, I really like this nib and can't wait to really break it in. Okay, I should have had a paintbrush. Let me go grab a brush. Or I'll just use a water brush. Okay, I have a water brush. Is this water soluble ink? Most ink is in a pen they sell these days, because they want it to work when you buy it. It is. This blue is like a blue lavender though. It's really pretty. Unfortunately, the lines come out pretty quickly. So I want to see if it has more time to dry, if the lines will look differently. I think I'll do that by just doing more lines here, and then waiting a little bit. If you work with it closely, you know. I like it. I like the color of it. It's like a blue purple. This Muji I did another time was like a gold, a green black, and I heard that this Kaweco, the black inks are like that, but the problem with the Muji one like that was that it smells really bad. It's the only one that really smells like when you open the cap, I'm like, Jesus Christ, it smells like cheap paint. But I was worried that the Kaweco inks were just like that, like the ink smell, but no, there's no smell on this. Like, I don't care if it smells up close, but if I open it and start writing, I'm like, what the fuck what's that smell? I do that with the Muji. No other pen was like that. But man, this is a pretty pen. Look at this pen. Like, what the hell? This is my favorite color. I love gold. I just can't get over it. Is this the end of me in collecting fountain pens? Is this my one pen? It'll be probably my most eye-catching pen that I like for a little while, but it's definitely not the end of fountain pen collection. If anything, this inspires me to go ahead and buy. I want the lime green one of this. I want the highlighter one of this, because they're both different, or the frosted green and then the highlighter green. and I want the coral one, maybe the burgundy red one. Yeah, so then maybe I'll think about branching out to some more other ones, but yeah, thanks for watching.
Okay, so there you have it. I really like this pen. I can't wait to keep using it. I only used it for about an hour and already it feels pretty good. I did attach this like cheap gold clip on it. I just feel like it does accentuate the other gold furnishings on this. Oh, it's not one on that side, but on this pen. And with the clip on, it does feel like my petite. My petite has a clip and it's about the same exact size when capped. So I just rest that on its rest the clip on the side of me, and I usually find a good fitting for it, and then it's good to go. Yeah, I hope to do better videos, better reviews. The ones I did, I have a lot of things to review that I want to review. I don't know why, but I just have a lot of shit. I just feel like I should share what I have, my experience, or just what it looks like on different paper, different mediums. So hopefully inspire you to get the supplies you want or need, or to stray away from the ones that maybe you want to impulse buy and realize it's maybe not a good fit for you. All right, thanks for watching.